The following is a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match! In this match, there are no countouts, no disqualifications, no holds barred. The only way to win is by pinfall or submission. Introducing first, from Bulgaria, weighing in at 270 pounds, Rusev.
Rusev, he's got his battle face on here tonight. You know, Sheamus has a winning record in these Donnybrook matches. I think Rusev may be at a disadvantage.
Well, Sheamus may have the experience in this kind of match, but Rusev is a die-hard fan of his local footy team, Lokomotiv Plovdiv, and he spent many nights brawling around the pubs of Europe against the best hooligans this continent can offer. And we're getting a fight tonight. Talking of fights, however, look who's here. It is Morgan, the last pirate, Charrière. He's a featherweight UFC fighter out of Poissy, France. Charrière coming off a technical KO victory over Nate Landwehr just weeks ago on UFC Fight Night. Great to have him here to watch this one that is going to be a banger. Rusev looking mean, focused, and ready for war.
Guess what, Wade? It's fight night, baby!
You just bust my eardrum.
At least I didn't cough.
His opponent from Dublin, Ireland, weighing in at 267 pounds, Sheamus!
This is gonna be a banger. For the 5th time ever, a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. And the first one in almost a year here in WWE. And that shillelagh that Sheamus is carrying, hey, that's legal under these rules.
Well, the referee's taking it off him. It has to be away from Sheamus, at least for the bell to ring. And we've got two men intensely staring each other down, former faction mates in the dreadful League of Nations.
Yeah, two men that kicked you out of the League of Nations.
Best thing that ever happened to me, trust me. Two alpha bulls who do not like the sight of each other. Yeah. We're throwing down in Paris.
Yeah, Sheamus, the only superstar to have pinned Rusev since Rusev returned to WWE. Rusev holds the career lead in matches between these two, but this really is the rubber match of the recent rivalry. And look at Sheamus now, pound and wound.
Oh God, the way we've started off here, this may be one of the shortest matches in history. Immediately hitting 10s against each other, potato after potato.
Sheamus and Rusev battled each other for the better part of a decade here in WWE.
I'll tell you right now, we teamed up at WrestleMania in 2016 against the New Day. I had to break up a fight in the gorilla position before we went out between Sheamus and Rusev. That was before the match even started. There's a lot of bitterness between these two about the way Sheamus was running the League of Nations, and that bitterness has never left Rusev.
These men battled for the United States Championship at one point in their career, and now this is just about beating the hell out of each other. Who's the bigger man? This is personal.
I mean, you know, coming into this one, you're getting the hell beaten out of you. You're going to beat the hell out of your opponent. The question is, who can take more abuse? Both can dish it out. We know that. But somebody's crumbling tonight.
Two of the toughest men on the planet. Kidney shot by Sheamus, and now blows to the midsection, knee by Rusev. Now Rusev looking to suplex Sheamus into the tables. Sheamus able to counter and deliver a suplex of his own.
Sheamus's boots turn to lead whenever he wants to. Trust me, he's kicked me with them enough times, but those heavy boots of Sheamus came in handy there. Rusev just didn't have the power to lift the big Irishman.
And now Rusev driven into the barricade by Sheamus, the Celtic Warrior, a four-time world champion. Has a Hall of Fame resume with the United States titles and tag team titles, a Rumble victory, Money in the Bank, once King of the Ring.
It is astounding that Sheamus has had over 15 years at the very top of this game, and his fighting style has not changed with age. Usually you slow down a little, you have to amend when you're fighting old Father Time. No, oh God!
Kendo stick by Rusev.
Oh, Rusev completely sucking in Sheamus there. Sheamus with that shillelagh, thought he was getting a cheap shot in, but no, denied.
Now Rusev swinging the kendo stick like a baseball bat.
These are those game-changing moments. Who gets the big shots in first in a match like this? And now Rusev fresh as a daisy. Sheamus looks like he's been hit by a Mack truck.
And now Rusev with Sheamus in position here on the apron. Usually Sheamus will use this for the 10 beats of the Modern.
So Rusev go for the eyeballs there. Perfectly legal in this match.
And Rusev delivering Sheamus' own move to him.
Like the thud of a bass drum. How's your diaphragm now, Sheamus?
Sheamus has welts building all over his body. How can a human being take as much punishment as Sheamus had like this over 15, 20 years?
Yeah, the cumulative punishment. Every match Sheamus has is a war. It doesn't matter who he's taking on. You have to bring your heaviest artillery with this man. There's no light days in there. No light work with Sheamus.
Rusev exposing the turnbuckle. Sheamus went for the Irish Curse backbreaker. And now, he delivers one there.
Rusev knew just how dangerous that was. Scrambled out the first time. Sheamus was not letting him get away that easy.
Yeah, these men know each other so well, know how to counter each other's offense. They've been hit with everything their opponent can throw at them over the years. And now it's Sheamus' turn to use the kendo stick as a weapon. Oh, and Sheamus plowing through Rusev.
Smashing in the Adam's apple of the Bulgarian. And I'll tell you right now, all European wrestlers, when we come back to this continent, no matter who you're fighting, you raise your game. You want to put on a good showing. You feel like this is our territory. Both these European men do not want to give a quarter this evening.
Sheamus has welts all over his body, and it hasn't slowed him down.
He spent an entire career with welts all over his body. It just makes him even tougher. It makes him fight harder. It fires him up. It wakes him up. It's terrifying.
Not quite sure how many chairs Sheamus needs, but that's a trio there.
Talking up something menacing here.
On with the chair and missed. And Rusev now caught him with a heel kick, and the chair bouncing off the face of Sheamus. Cover by Rusev. Remember, you can only win via pinfall or submission.
And that right there we just witnessed is a major edge that Rusev has over almost every heavyweight out there. The virtue of his sudden, explosive movements that make all of the heavyweights look slow in comparison. Rusev has that.
Yes, sudden impact of Rusev, and then the impact of the steel chair to the spine of Sheamus. And now to the midsection.
It's that explosive movement that opens up the doorway for this. Maximum brutality.
Yeah, Rusev who thrives off chaos.
I'll tell you right now, you mentioned earlier you felt like this started because Sheamus was being, Rusev was being something of a bully to the Alpha Academy. I'll argue that Sheamus, his style has to be a bully his entire career. And bullies don't like other bullies. That's the real hatred between these two.
And Sheamus he's begging for Rusev to assault him.
Told you, the harder you hit him, the tougher he gets. This is nightmare fuel for any opponent of Sheamus.
And Sheamus intercepts the chair. And Rusev with a kick to the midsection.
Tell you what, you don't dare lose.
Oh, and a running knee right off the jaw.
Knee to the dome.
Is it enough kick out?
And there's no one home for Rusev right now. Glassy-eyed, and if Sheamus can drop the hammer here, he's got this one.
Impact!
And how quickly Sheamus turns it around, absorbs that punishment, shrugs it off. Can Rusev do the same?
Now Sheamus gonna put Rusev in position for the original 10 beats of the mountain. Just listen. Rusev collapsing to the apron.
Yeah, you say, listen, I could feel the vibrations buzzing through the arena on that one.
You felt that before, haven't you?
I have indeed, once too many times, and now I'm sat by you.
And now, Sheamus up over the bar.
Getting crushed by the bar on the other side. Since Sheamus slumped over a few bars in my time, I'm sure that one was a bit more painful than normal.
And Rusev wanted to use the bar stool, and Sheamus able to thwart that. Unique position for the Bowden. I just got chills.
I don't see any beers in this bar. That's my main issue. Sheamus looks like he's built up a bit of a thirst. Someone pour him a pint of the black stuff.
And Rusev now. Rusev trying to escape through the arena.
There's no countouts in this match, and technically it can go wherever it wants.
And Sheamus with a shillelagh. Oh no!
That has to be the most devastating beat of the Bodhrán we have ever seen. Avec un shillelagh.
Rusev just collapsing to the floor, and now Sheamus dragging him back into the ringside area.
Well, Rusev is a beaten man at this point. Of course, pinfall submissions have to take place in the ring, which is why Sheamus didn't effectively win the match right there and then. But it looks like victory is imminent.
And Sheamus lifting Rusev up on his shoulders. Looked like he was going for white noise. Rusev able to avoid that. Now driven into the chair that Rusev set up.
Fallen on his own sword, and Sheamus looking to put the finishing touches to this masterpiece.
Sheamus with the Celtic cross. Is it enough? And the Donnybrook match continues.
Oh, such a devastating landing. Simplemente, Sheamus will not like the sound of that. After that high cross landing on the neck of Rusev, but we know what's coming next, Michael Cole.
Beating off the 30,000 plus in Paris. Went for the Bro kick, and Rusev scooted out of harm's way.
Yeah, absolute brilliance from Rusev. Just when you think his wits have left him after that beating him. What the hell are you doing here, Sheamus? You're not a cruiserweight.
Don't tell him that. Sheamus, top rope, and Rusev. Oh! That was a critical mistake by Sheamus. Rusev had the wherewithal to move out of the way, grab the kendo, and deliver it to the midsection of Sheamus.
Just got Babe Ruth right to the midsection. Home run! It's getting even worse now for the Celtic Warrior, who had victory within his clutches.
Oh, Wade, you called it out. Sheamus doesn't often go to the top rope.
Sometimes you get a little excited. You know you've got to do something drastic to put away an opponent like Rusev, as tough as this big Bulgarian.
And now this Brook, just slamming the steps off the face of Sheamus, who collapses to the floor.
Sheamus stepped out of his comfort zone, and Rusev was ready there to make him pay for the mistake. Now the bar apparently is back in play.
You know what those things weigh?
I pay guys to move mine.
Try again, bro. Try again.
Now Rusev separating the steps.
Separating Sheamus' head from his shoulders the way this is looking. How are you cooking up, Rusev?
Anything he wants. Rusev,
Oh, God, they're looking our way.
nasty stuff
Watch
in
out
mind.
there. Oh,
And Sheamus slammed through the bar. And that could be last call for Sheamus.
oh, God, the back of Sheamus' head catching the edge of that bar that simply did not break. That could be a KO to Sheamus, effectively a rabbit punch from that bar.
Yeah, but remember, the pinfall or submission must take place, Wade, inside the ring.
Which feels pretty much academic now. Sling that big Irishman in the ring, cover him, it's game over.
And Rusev now into the ring, in control. Kick to the back, and you know what this means. Rusev with the accolade, the submission move, locked into Sheamus.
Sheamus, a man I have felt is incapable of tapping out at times, but the pain may be overwhelming the spirit at this point.
And this is how Rusev beat Sheamus for the United States Championship 11 years ago with the accolade. But Sheamus not going to give up yet. Back to his feet. Rusev in trouble. And now onto the steel chairs.
And you saw Sheamus, despite the obvious agony and exhaustion, just with a glance from the corner of his eye, spot that steel chair sitting there and thought, hey, yeah, Rusev, screw you.
The WWE fans here in Paris showing their appreciation for what these two men are putting themselves through here tonight.
Well, we knew what we were getting, didn't we, Cole? When they put these two together in this kind of matchup. Maximum agony.
Hey, we
for
invited
our pleasure.
We invited Sheamus out for a beer last night, and he said he couldn't come because he had to be 100% for this.
Yeah, that's the first time Sheamus has ever turned down a night out. That shows you how much this means to Sheamus. It shows you how seriously he takes the threat of Rusev as they clamber near those old-fashioned, I don't know if they're beer barrels or wine barrels or whiskey barrels, but who cares?
Oh, Sheamus, as he was trying to drag Rusev up on the top of those whiskey barrels. And Rusev now, Rusev is gonna...
Oh, what an iconic moment!
He's gonna lock the accolade in on top of the whiskey barrels, but remember, even if Sheamus taps out here, it doesn't matter because the submission has to take place inside the ring.
Cannot win a match there, but Sheamus may well have his back broken. And then it really is game over.
Sheamus trying once again to find his way out of the accolade.
Barrels wobbling all over the place. A combined amount of probably 550 plus pounds between those two.
Probably some good single malt in there.
Push them open after this one.
And now Sheamus. Rusev looking to do damage. Sheamus fighting back here. Sheamus with the elbows.
Somebody
oh
is
my goodness.
about to have a very,
oh my
very
God.
bad night.
From the top of the whiskey barrels.
Sheamus.
What are you thinking about?
Kill a man.
White lies through the tables off the whiskey barrels. This is the damnedest bar fight I've ever witnessed.
Oh my God, from that height, the body of Rusev smashed through 2 tables with a white noise, and even Sheamus came a cropper in that one, and the referee taking a very close look.
Yeah, Jessica Carr just trying to see if both of these men can continue.
And you know, this is awesome indeed, providing you're not one of these 2 competitors. I promise you right now, our doctor is in sprint position, ready to come down and check on these 2.
Yeah, it's awesome if you're a masochist.
How the hell is Rusev getting up after taking that? How's he up first?
I have no idea. I mean, Rusev was driven through the tables off white noise from the top of those barrels, dragging himself back into the ring.
The absolute brute of a man, and close behind him is Sheamus. Oh, I cannot imagine how these 2 are going to feel tomorrow rolling out of bed. Might need a crane to get them out of there, but we still need a winner.
Rusev, look at, he's crawling toward the corner, and that's where that shillelagh is.
Sheamus is just crawling to a corner to try and pull himself upright. The legs aren't working anymore.
Rusev with a shillelagh in hand. Look at what these 2 men have put themselves through. They can barely stand.
The shoulder of Rusev is completely contorted. I fear he may have separated that at some point in the matchup.
And now Sheamus with a brogue kick! A brogue from out of nowhere! And a kick out by Rusev!
How the hell do you kick out the brain of Rusev? Just rattled from one of the hardest brogue kicks I have ever seen. The lights are on, but no one's home. Take another look at this impact from the brogue kick.
Bang!
I have never seen the heel connect with the temple quite as perfectly as that.
Okay.
And how the hell Rusev kicked out is a question that will never be answered.
Okay, explain to me this. How the hell did Rusev kick out of that?
It's the question that can't be answered, Cole. It's not human, it's not mortal. What the hell is driving this Bulgarian brute?
Sheamus trying to drag himself back to his feet again, perhaps to look for yet another brogue kick. Rusev. Look at Rusev trying to pull himself up as well.
Rusev is completely defenseless. Here we go.
And Rusev with a big Mashka kick. And Sheamus with a knee.
Just embers burning in both men at this point here.
And up over the top, Rusev sends him flying with a half a back body drop and a Mashka kick to the face. Sheamus in the corner, looking to collapse, center of the ring.
Sheamus on complete jelly legs, kicked in the throat, can't breathe and wait up. Shillelagh in hand.
And the shillelagh broken across the back of Sheamus. And now the cover by Rusev. And Sheamus kicked out. Rusev just shattered the shillelagh across the spine of Sheamus, and Sheamus somehow kicked out.
These 2 are simply not human. They're not from this planet. Driven by blind hatred to do superhuman things.
And now going to use the shillelagh as he locks Sheamus in the accolade. And now the shillelagh placed into the mouth of Sheamus. Sheamus trying to fight back somehow, but Rusev coiling those legs like a constrictor around the waist of Sheamus. And Sheamus has got to tap out.
Here is your winner by submission, Rusev!
Wade, I believe that was just, I think just the second time in the career of Sheamus that he has tapped out, not passed out, tapped out in a match. And it took the accolade with a shillelagh shoved in his mouth to do it.